Well, we've made it to the halfway point of the season. We're still above Arsenal in the league. We're still ahead of the KEV ratio. That's just about all the good news, I think, though. It's becoming more of a challenge. Hello and welcome to part 131 of Backing the Boro. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have two games for you in the Premier League. We're away against Newcastle and at home against Blackburn. Newcastle is a game we should lose. Blackburn is absolutely a game you would think we should be able to win because we got promoted with them last year, finishing above them in the Championship, although they are faring a lot better now we're up in the Premier League. Since you were last with me, it has been a pretty miserable time. There's one little ray of hope and loveliness in the middle of a sea of just horrible results. What's that? Six defeats out of our last 7 Premier League games, but there is a 2-1 win against West Ham snuck in there. West Ham, interestingly, might be the game. Is it the game where I went nuts? No, it's not. There was a game where I just made a triple substitution at half-time and brought on all my strikers. It might have been against Tottenham, actually, in the last game. Yeah, there you go. Just after half-time. I just had enough of my front three and just brought 3 different strikers on. And they actually played quite well. So, on that note, I think we're going to go to a 4-3-3. I know I said at the start of the season that I wasn't going to mess around with tactics too much this season. But you've seen that run of results that we've been on, so we're going to mess around with tactics a little bit, and we're gonna try a full-on 4-3-3. I think we have a weakness as a squad when it comes to attacking midfield. Del Gaudiel is good. I don't know if he's Premier League good, but we do have 5 probably very good strikers who will score goals. Let's get them on the pitch. Let's hope that we can just outscore opposition because we absolutely can't defend. We just can't. Just not very good at it. So this is the team we're putting out there for the away game against one of the best teams in the country. We've got Hugo in goal, a back four, Robertson, King, Taggart and Etchebay, with Palais, Sophia and Barron in midfield, and then Hull, Brown and Ruggles up front, with Afsharian and Wheatley sat there on the bench ready to come on if 3 strikers wasn't enough, which, I mean, there's every chance that might be the case because, you can never have too many strikers. I fully expect to lose this game, but I hope we at least grab a couple of goals, get a little bit of confidence into our front 3 and take that into the Blackburn game and maybe pick up a result there. We are getting to that point now where our good start, yeah, it was lovely. We had a good start, but we are in just horrible form. We are still 10 points clear of the relegation zone. Thankfully, there are 3 teams who have had terrible, terrible first halves of the season. But one of the teams below us is Arsenal, so we can safely assume they're not going to get relegated. So really, you're looking at Burnley, Brentford, West Ham all around us, and then hoping that Stoke, Palace and Wolves just continue to be rubbish. 1-0. Apologies if you just saw the little glitch that happened in there. My camera died. I tried to continue the sentence and thinking future Kev might be able to edit this together properly. And as the goal went in, I thought, you know what? We've all met future Kev. We know he's not going to be able to edit that together properly. Let's just own up. And now make myself look even more of an idiot by admitting that I tried to cover it. I can't go back and attempt to cover it now. So if you didn't spot the point where Kev tried to act and continue, I went back and listened to the bit where I was talking before to try and make the sentence seamless. If it's edited together brilliantly now, then I've made myself look an idiot, which is fine. I'm willing to look like an idiot if we get a victory against Newcastle to balance that out in the universe, although we have got a penalty to Newcastle. Now, Lee Hugo did save a penalty in the last game, though. Doesn't save one today. Rubbish. It is Hugo we've got in goal today, isn't it? And not Egan. Someone did tell me how to pronounce it. I think Egan is the way to say it, or Egan. Either way, it's Hugo in goal today, so yay, we don't need to. Well, I know how to say Hugo. That's relatively straightforward. I think actually 3-3, 1-1 in the 35th minute is far better than we possibly could have expected. We've actually had some shots. We're still not having any kind of possession, but we didn't get a shot in the first half against Tottenham. That's why I got so frustrated with the front 3 that we were using, because they were just utterly incompetent. Whereas at least today we've created some chances. We've scored a goal. We are actually ahead on the clear-cut chances measure. Tottenham had 10 clear-cut chances in that game. By the way, the last one that we played, I was distraught at what was going on. So my solution to we've given away 10 clear-cut chances in this game. let's put an extra striker on. That's Kev's logic. We are losing now, obviously. But then, remember, we are supposed to lose this one. It doesn't matter if we lose this one, as long as we start to make progress and start to play a little bit better. And we absolutely have already played a little bit better. We're being mugged right now against the team second in the league. So I can accept losing against second place Newcastle via mugging if we can take some positives out of it into the Blackburn game. I just hope we don't... Oh, that's a good goal. I just hope we don't wreck our dynamics too much. We've put James Ball down in the under-23, so he's out of the way. But we still have Sawyer and Ruggles, who are both our only two remaining team leaders, who are both still unhappy at lack of first-team opportunity. That's why Ruggles is in the team today. Sawyer has had a little run of games, so he's dropped back out of the team again. But we really need to move on all three of them before we can sort out this dynamics problem. And I think, regardless of what happens, that's got to be our job for the summer. So whether we're doing that, preparing for another season in the Premier League, which then we'll be obviously improving the team anyway, or whether it's part of what we do to prepare to come back up again. And I know Josh Sawyer and Chris Ruggles were big parts of last time's promotion team, but they've shown this year they're not up to the Premier League, so let's not have them part of next season's promotion push. Not that we're going to get relegated. We'll be fine. We do need to make some changes, though. I know it's a bit early, but we've got to get back into this game. Yet again, we've got strikers not performing. Sean Hull, not any good. Let's get Afsharian on for him. Tommy Taggart's having a terrible game. Get Josh Sawyer on for him. And Echabe is injured, but I mean, he's not badly injured. I think we'll just make those two changes for now. See if Afsharian, with 25 minutes to go, can come on and change the game. And then we can have another conversation in the comments like, Kev, why don't you ever start Afsharian? If we're just giving away a penalty and got a man sent off. I didn't think this sort of thing was supposed to happen anymore. I know it's probably in theory a second yellow card, isn't it? Yeah, second yellow card and then a red. But still, it just feels harsh getting a double punishment for stuff like this. I didn't mean to exit out of tactics there. I meant to click on this. And I think we're just going to go to a 4-2-3. And we're going to try and make the midfield look a little bit more sensible. Actually, we'll make you a central midfielder on support. There, yeah, we'll do that. But there's no point sacrificing a striker. We've got to score 3 goals now. And it's another penalty. The result is going to look worse than it should have been because 2 penalties, although they are now ahead for their clear-cut chances, but 2 of those clear-cut chances were penalties. This is not going my way at the moment. We desperately need a result against Blackburn, and with 8 defeats in 9 games, I don't know if we've got it in us. There's a big ball over the top towards Chris Ruggles, though. Afsharian is free in the middle, and of course, Ali Afsharian does what he always does and scores a goal. One day, I'll start that man in a football match, but I just like having a super sub. It's quite fun having a guy sat on the bench that I know I can bring on and he'll always score. When I have, on those rare, I do start him sometimes. On those rare occasions when I do start him, he tends not to score. He seems to just be an impact super sub, which I can live with that. Right, let's change up this midfield because they're a bit tired. We've got Levi Hayes sat there, so he can come on and just swap straight in there. It's a straight swap. We've got 10 minutes to try and grab 2 goals. We do have Afsharian up front, though, so, you know, anything can happen with Ali Afsharian in the team. Although with no time left on the clock, it's probably unlikely to at this point. We've picked up a lot of yellow cards again in this game. We've been fined for failing to control our players, probably 5 or 6 times in the first half of this season. I think it's pretty clear I can't control my players. But if it's just a 25 grand fine every time, we're rolling in cash. And one of the other headline pieces of news that the eagle-eyed amongst you probably would have seen at the start of the episode is that I have been given an extra £14 million to spend in the January transfer window, which opens directly after this game. So we have the potential. We only spent £14 million in the summer. So we've got the potential to bring in either one superstar or maybe 3, 4, 5 players that could actually improve this team a little bit more and maybe move the likes of Ball, Ruggles and Sawyer on now in the hopes of saving ourselves from relegation. Because again, if we look at dynamics, oh goodness me. Oh no, Tony Barron's moved up to team leader as well now. That's not a disaster because Tony Barron is a regular in the team and is happy. But we need to get these 2 gone, really. Forget all that nonsense about 4-3-3, complete change of plan, because of course now the transfer window is open, we can finally register Paul Earle for the team, who is, in theory, a much, much better attacking midfielder than anybody else we've got at the club and should be a superstar. We're giving him one opportunity because I've also got this being trained now, which I know is a dirty, dirty exploit tactic. But I'm not doing it the dirty, dirty exploit way. I'm not using 3 complete forwards. I'm not playing long ball. I'll still play the KEV way, but we're struggling in midfield. We've got good strikers. We've got 3 good centre-backs. We've got good wing-backs. It's an option, but first we're going to try and see if we can do things just one more time. We're going to give Paul Earle one opportunity. So he comes into the team. We're going with Brown and Hull up front. So Ruggles drops down to the bench. Barron is suspended. So Smith comes into the team in midfield. And actually, why have I got Josh Sawyer in the team? Hello, Josh. There we go. Just fix that problem as well. We've got to win today. And we're not going to win with Josh Sawyer in the team. So let's get that team out there and see how we can perform, I'm afraid, because if we can't beat Blackburn are a team that we were comfortably better than last year. So if we're not at least as good as them now, all that shows is they've got themselves sorted out for the Premier League much more comfortably and much quicker than we have, because they're comfortably in mid-table. They are only 7 points ahead of us, so a win today really does close the gap on them, and I think they're a decent yardstick for us to have. And also a win today would put us on 25 points, which is very close to safety then. But at 6 minutes on the clock and we're already losing, which puts us down to 17th place. Finally below Arsenal, and luckily still with that cushion of those rubbish teams below us. But we are absolutely in free fall. If we lose this one, it's 8 defeats in 9 Premier League games. And you've got to start thinking, how do we come back from this? 5-2-3. How do we come back from this? Sign some new players, Kev. So it's all is not lost. At least this is happening at the start of January and throughout December, and not in March when we can't do anything about it. Goodness me. Well, we said we'd give him one opportunity. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Paul Earle. Let's just have a little look at this from the other angle. So he plays it to Smith. Smith plays it back. And then first time on the half volley. We might have a new hero, everybody. What a finish. We signed him 2 weeks after the window closed back in September. He is another one who's unhappy because he's not getting any game time. Doesn't seem to understand he can't have game time because there's no way to play him when we can't register him for the squad. But I had very, very high hopes for him when he signed. And what a goal that is for a man who's not even close to match fit, to just come into the team 10 minutes on the clock and score a goal like that. But look at the state of our defence. Oh dear. Hugo makes a good save in the end and Taggart scrambles it clear. But that was a perfect example of just how rubbish our defending can be at times. I don't know if going 3 at the back with wing-backs would help, because we have 4 proper defenders at the moment and can't defend. If we only have 3 proper defenders, surely things are going to get even worse down our wide areas where we struggle as it is. But I don't know. We'll see. We did play a 3 at the back for 2 or 3 seasons earlier on in this save. For those of you who think we always just do a 4-3-1-2, and it didn't really work. But that was a 5-3-2 with James Ball in behind it. I mean, that tells you how long ago this was, because it was when we were still in the conference, and James Ball used to play in behind the 2 strikers with 3 at the back, and one of those 3 was Josh Sawyer. So we're going back 10 seasons and 5 divisions, and 2 of those players who were in that team are still here now. So at least those 2 would know how to adjust to a 5-3-2, and they couldn't do it successfully in the conference 10 years ago. They'll be fine doing it in the Premier League. A lot of people commented as well on yesterday how James Ball is now a good player for the National League. Again, if you look at Josh Sawyer's coach reports, he's apparently a good player for League One. So he's not quite as poor as James Ball is in the context of a Premier League player. But considering he was one of our better players in the Championship last year, I think he must have just been playing out of his skin, or our coaches are being a little bit harsh, because he's 28. He shouldn't be declining yet. But yeah, he's a League One player apparently, which I guess feels about right. Still makes him, both him and Ball, cracking signings for when they came in, but not good enough for us now. And it's 2-1. And if we lose this game, oh my word, At what point do we go? Do we go to 3 up front with Earl in behind him? I'm now a little bit worried because our go-to in situations like this that does always improve the team is to go 3 up front. But we've just brought in a player who we said we'd give one opportunity to. He is out and by head and shoulders above everyone else as our star man today on an 8.2. And he's the one who'd have to come off for us to switch to the tactic that we know works a little bit better. Smith is running the wrong way. I wonder if Earl can play in the midfield 3. Smith is that's just utter incompetence. But it does fall to Palaiso, who is running. That's a decent... He's running. That's the extent of my commentary when I'm getting stressed. Here's Palaiso. He's running. Oh, my word. Galliano, back to Hugo. Surely we can't mess this up. Just get the ball forward. Go on, get the ball forward. Let's grab an equaliser. And then we'll bring on a third striker and we'll worry about where to put Earl in a minute. Perhaps with his match fitness, he needs to come off anyway. I haven't actually looked at what his fitness is, but he hasn't played a football game this season. Football game? Football match? What kind of pervert calls it a football game? Goodness me. And now it's 3-1 and we've got to make the change. We can't sit and wait for the 70th minute as much as we all know I want to. Right. Earl is actually match fit. He must have been playing plenty of games for the under-23s. Can he play in midfield? Yes. Right. So we drop him back there. And now we make changes. Our defence is shocking, but that's not what we want to fix. We want to get this man on. We want to get that man on. And then get him off. Oh, Gordon Bennett. No, we don't. Wow. We're not going to make any changes to our defence. Just going to leave things as they are back there. And then we know Hull likes to be a target man. Although he's not a natural target man. He scored all of his goals last year as a target man. Afsharian, Hull and Ruggles. If you're worrying where Graziani is, he is injured. I've not just forgotten that our best striker exists. He's injured, which again isn't really helping the current situation. But there we go. Earl can drop back into midfield. And we now have half an hour of a front 3. We don't want to see your dirty replay. And hopefully, Ruggles and Afsharian, our League One strike partnership from a few years ago, can come on and be the difference makers. Taggart's picked up an injury and we know the only change we've got to bring on for him is Sawyer because Hermes is injured. All these good players we brought in and they're all picking up injuries, which again, it's all kind of accumulating at the same time and we're now losing 4-1 at home to a team that we were better than 6 months ago. And I think that just that tells you a story about how this season is shaping up for us. I think without drastic changes, we're getting relegated because we are absolutely 100% in free fall. And we don't have the players at the club to do anything about it. So, between now and our next episode, I'm going to be dabbling in the transfer market. And, trying to work out what to do. Here is Afsharian. That's just beautiful from Afsharian. What a piece of football from Afsharian. Squares it to Hull. It's a lovely finish from Hull. We do play some nice attacking football at times. We just cannot defend. I think it might be time to crack out that 5-2-3. That was beautiful from Afsharian. One day I'll start him. That day I'll probably be in the Championship around Christmas next year when I'm getting really desperate and remember he exists. But we've not even made our third substitution because what's the point? Earl in midfield, plays it to Hull. If we grab another goal here, and it's Afsharian again, running at defenders again. He does scare them. It's again beautiful from Afsharian. I can hear you all telling me to play him. I might start him in the next game because he's not just a goal scorer. He's a creative force who we just... Oh, my word. But we cannot defend, can we? And this is without Sawyer in the team. We are still ahead of the KEV ratio. 22 points from 20 games. We beat Manchester United in the league earlier this year. But now we lose 5-2 at home to Blackburn. Time for... I don't care if it's an exploit tactic. I want to stay in the Premier League. We'll exploit for a year. We'll exploit for the rest of this season. It's not going to do us any harm. We've got to build a squad. We're waiting for a ground to be built. Ruggles is fouled, surely. Ruggles fouled, apparently. I don't understand football. I think that's pretty evident from these videos. What an absolute pile of turd that was. Probably lose to Grimsby in the FA Cup now. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.